Wrestling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the We Like Wrestling podcast. I'm Jared. I'm here with Justin.
Get the fuck off your phone.
Justin.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. We can open up talking about it. That was yesterday, right? Mario Jannetty losing a leg. I don't know. What's your source?
This says WrestleZone.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
I've seen.
Go to Sean Ross app. He's the only one I saw.
I don't know what his.
Speaking of Sean Ross app, did you guys watch the press conference for the Royal Rumble?
No.
Cody Rhodes said, a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but it rhymes with Sean Ross app or something. It's like, wait, what? That's his name. He keeps sending me memes thinking it's funny, I guess, about Cody's story or whatever. So yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, it's officially February, which means the Rumble is over.
I thought you were going to say it's Black History Month, because it is, and I was going to ask you guys a question about that later.
We can get to that.
And we all watched the Rumble from our own homes.
4 matches.
Did not watch it together.
Yeah, 4 matches, and I still was falling asleep on the couch.
And it still was 4 hours long.
The women's was better.
Well, why? Well,
Slightly better.
why? Yeah, do we even need to talk about the 4-way or the Logan Paul match?
The 4-way was disappointing.
It really was.
I thought it'd
Logan
be
Paul's
great.
match was better than the 4-way. The final 4 of the Rumble was better than the 4-way.
Yeah, I think I said that, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Punk and Cody had a better match. Yeah.
In general, I just think, and Bailey touched on this on the press conference, they're so star-studded and so much talent in the WWE now that they don't need to reach to legends. Yeah, you're looking for like who's going to show up, and you know, we'll always talk about the Michelle McCool thing. Which, by the way, from here on out, we will always fact check everything Jared says on this podcast. He has struck out now 3 times. You don't get any more leeway. You will be fact checked for everything. We'll pause this, and I'll get a fucking laptop that will be labeled just the Fact Checker 3000. And
I don't know where I saw something that said Texas. I don't know if it's another pay-per-view or
Which
what,
is,
but
it's just not nowhere near Florida.
no,
so we were all reminiscing of who could possibly be from Texas. Well, it was Florida.
But even if they were in Texas,
It didn't matter because no legends happened.
in either Rumble, no.
Yeah.
No Taker, no
And I'm
Stone Cold.
for it. I was disappointed at the time, but hearing Bailey's explanation and the way she seems to have viewed it, I'm for it. I like this call up stars. Yeah, the Pat McAfee thing was funny.
When
He
shit happens.
really put. Well, you don't know any of that.
No,
we don't know the speculation of that was supposed to be Brock's number, or Braun Breaker was put in Brock's role. We don't know.
I did see something
never
else. It said instead of Omos and whoever else it was, McAfee
Braun.
was supposed to do the same thing against Brock. So
Who?
McAfee. They got getting in. Oh shit!
I don't know. It was even better against Almas
Yeah.
because it's one thing.
He got on commentary and he was
Oh
like,
my God, it's
how fucking tall is that thing?
Have you seen him?
How
It's
tall
funny
is that thing?
Because first you're going to go logically, well, he knew he was in the Rumble. He had to pick a number. But he didn't know who he was going to go into the Rumble with. The shocked look is,
Who was in
fuck,
the ring, yeah.
He's there, and Braun Breaker's there.
He's been tossing
Jesus
people out.
Christ, I'm not doing this shit.
By the way, Braun, fucking that spear. Oh,
Yeah. We've talked about Braun Breaker for a while. Is it time to pull the trigger on him? How long has he been in NXT?
A while.
3-4 years now? He was like the guy. He was the first match of the new NXT, remember?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first
And then
NXT
he was-
2.0 champ, right?
I don't remember. I don't know that. I thought it took him a little while to get the belt.
He was like face for a year, and then he was heel for like a year.
Well, they got to
Dolph-
try him out in all positions.
Dolph taught him.
I'd say
heel.
he's been there probably like 3 years.
I don't like him as a heel, to be honest.
Dolph was what Balor was to Gargano.
I liked him being funny. Again, he's now with Corbin, he's doing a little funnier stuff.
This is what Corbin needed, by the way.
So, oh yeah, of course. Well, no.
To get over though.
Sad Corgan.
we-
Happy Corgan.
We like Corbin, but
But when they can't call
I
Braun,
like sad Corgan only. Really.
Braun up yet because
Corbin. Sorry, not Corgan.
they're in the finals of that Dusty tournament.
yeah.
Yeah, right. So everybody, I think you guys were even saying like, oh, so is this his call up? Well, no, they're in the Dusty tournament. He's not coming out yet.
And so
he
is
could come
Carmelo.
up soon. Yeah, Melo's been, I guess, all over SmackDown and the Rumble. So like, I don't know.
Trick might get called up before Melo.
He's in it too. Carmelo and Trick versus Braun and Corbin are the
Yeah.
finals.
But I mean, when Trick came out on SmackDown, everybody was whoop that Trick. You know, he's over.
Yeah, he was over.
He's over.
Which I don't not like him. I just don't. He's not like.
Melo is.
I don't know. I think I like Melo better.
Yeah.
I like Melo.
If I had to pick one of those two to go up to NXT, if I had to pick, okay, so you got the finals of the Dusty Classic, keep Baron Corbin down and keep Trick down. Fuck, let them two feud. But bring up Braun and Melo. They've also both done it. They've done everything. There's no more for them to do.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say. I think the problem is that they're afraid of what won't be in NXT. Because
That's
for
true.
the past 3 or 4 years, it's been Braun and Melo.
Because then, who will be your next star?
Trick, I don't think is ready for that yet. You gotta get him into that.
Who do you make the guy that
Pillman.
is he ready for that? I don't know what they're doing with
Was
him down
Braun
there.
Breaker ready for it? They get ready.
I mean, Pillman's
Has he been pushed as a big main event guy?
I believe so.
Pillman's work isn't there yet. He's more of a character.
Yeah, but he was a fine wrestler in AEW. There's not, adding the character was what he was lacking there.
And they do love their second gen. WWE does. Do they acknowledge that
Yeah.
for them?
Well, his whole gimmick was I don't want.
Yeah,
to be
they
a second
acknowledged
gen.
it.
Yeah,
Because his start was I'm relinquishing my father's name and taking the name of like his mom and his sister or something like that,
So did she die or
Yeah.
something? His
Yeah.
sister. Yeah.
yeah. I want to make my own legacy.
which is their legacy.
Lexus.
It's
King
whatever.
Or something? Yeah.
Rumble, women's. That Jordan Grace thing alone.
Jordan
we got
Grace,
that.
huge surprise at number 3.
First Naomi at number 2.
No, 3.
Was
Was she number 2?
Was she 2 or 3?
I thought Naomi
Didn't
started.
she
No,
start
it
with
was
Bayley?
2.
I know.
Sorry, yes.
Bailey was 3.
And then Jordan Grace was like 3.
No, Bailey was 3.
Bailey's
Oh, yeah,
Grace
Bailey
was
was
4 or 5.
Jordan Grace was 5, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
she
really early.
But I mean,
they
like
blew their load early.
last
So
year.
when Noemi came out, they said this is she currently held the TNA Knockouts Championship. And that was my first holy shit, they just said TNA Knockouts Championship. They don't acknowledge people's past championships in other companies.
Or other companies at all.
the only
Yeah.
thing last year, Mickey James, they did.
That wasn't last year though, was it? That was 2 years ago? I don't think that was last year.
I don't
but
think they said it
they didn't say it, right?
just
They
on
didn't
the
acknowledge
screen.
it. She came out with it
with the belt.
but they didn't talk about it. This
then-
was putting someone over for being a champion somewhere else. And then at number 5, boom, they acknowledge this is Jordan Grace. This is who just beat Naomi for the TNA Knockouts Championship. This is their current TNA Knockouts Championship. Like Jared said, with a better belt than we have.
Yeah, it's sad when you show up from another company and you have a better title than.
Yeah.
Well, we were all like in a group chat. We're like, did they just say TNA knockouts?
Yeah.
For Naomi?
Yeah,
I think they said it's their first match.
and it's so weird that like that's the things we're marking out about. But it's the little things like that. It's just the appreciation. Like
Triple H doesn't insult our intelligence.
yes, we all know who AJ Styles was, and we all knew what he had done. But couldn't you just give it that little bit of extra? He's held this title this many times, been the face of this company, and now he's come. It always sounds bigger. And I think we say this all the time. It always sounds bigger when you're bringing in the top star from another company, and all you have to do is put your spin on it that they've done everything they could do there. Now they want to challenge themselves here because this is where you build yourself. This is where you come. This is your final goal.
They want to go against the best.
Yes.
So they came here.
Paul Levesque doesn't insult our intelligence. He's smart with the, like
Oh.
he acknowledges outside.
But not what door they come through. Shit's stupid, he says.
Yeah. And even on the press conference, he acknowledged Jordan Grace. We're glad she was able to make it.
Yep.
And maybe she has a future here.
Would have been nice if you would have said like, I thank Scott D'Amore for letting this happen. It's weird because there is no real relationship with TNA for
Just
they are
Endeavor.
now, right?
Just Endeavor.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean, Eric Young used to be in WWE, but
there's no real relationship.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like The Office, like Like day-to-day shit is
Someone
going
there's
through
power.
Scott D'Amore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's the one running the whole thing. Yes, it's on screen, but it's also reality. So
Yeah, I don't think
like,
him
there's
and Hunter
no
have
there's
any.
no relationship there from as far as I know.
And I don't even know. Endeavor's not a big part of it either. It's just Endeavor has the TNA Plus thing.
Yeah.
And
But I'm sure they did call Triple H and say, "Gotta get a TNA person on your pay-per-view."
no, it was
I'm
probably
sure it
Naomi.
Yeah, but still,
When they called
Hunter
Naomi,
could have been like, "No, we're not doing that."
when they called Naomi, she was probably like, "Hey, you're let's say 2 women short. I have somebody."
I don't think they're ever going to be short. They've got plenty of women. They're never going to say they're short.
There's like 20 girls on NXT they didn't use.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're never short.
There was some girl like, where was Raquel Rodriguez?
Still hurt.
Oh, jeez.
I thought Indy was hurt.
Yeah, I was like,
There's a lot of injured people.
or they're not on
But-
TV. I'm like, oh, she still works here?
But it's
Yeah.
pretty cool that we get to see, like, with how WWE has been in the past, just mentioning TNA or just,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And seeing Jordan Grace.
Remember
And-
how crazy it was when Punk's acknowledged New Japan on his pipe bomb?
Yeah.
And when he said, what did he say? He said about,
ROH.
and the guy he's not friends with anymore.
Oh, Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Scotty Goldman.
Yeah.
I saw something that said, I fact check me, I don't care. I don't know if it was SRS or not. But there was something that said there was communication starting the weekend before the Rumble about Jordan Grace. And then she flew in Monday to get her physical and everything. And then she was ready to go.
Because I think she lives in Florida.
Probably, yeah. Her and Gresham.
Yeah.
And besides Naomi, she'd have no connection to WWE.
Well, Naomi lives in Florida too. So.
I mean, other than that, that would have been her gateway in, right? She's never worked for WWE, has no,
No, not WWE.
never was in NXT or OVW, nothing. She's got no.
There's a possibility she worked a match for NXT.
So she would have,
But you'd be
she couldn't like
surprised.
cold call somebody. It had to be Naomi opening the door.
There's no way.
I mean, you can call. You can't interfere with the contract.
When you work with another company, I don't know. That's pretty tough to call and say, hey, can I be in your Rumble?
No, there's no way Jordan Grace would have reached out
No.
to them. Because there's no precedent set. Now there's a precedent set of people that can be like, hey, I'm going to work my ass off to get recognized by WWE so I can go to the Rumble next year.
But Triple H could have called Jordan or Scott D'Amore.
I'm
Hey,
sure there was
you know,
dealings. Of course, one day we'll all hear about it. Maybe Jordan will do a CVV interview about this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, for all we know, I don't follow TNA enough. But maybe a WWE girl shows up on TNA. Maybe it was like
Doubtful.
a trade.
Doubtful.
I'm not maybe a big time girl. Maybe they.
Doubtful.
it was
But it
because
was
when
cool.
Mickey
Highly-
James
highly
showed
doubtful.
up, it was just
And
Highly
they
doubtful.
didn't make a joke out of her. She was in for
she
a
had
while.
a solid showing.
Very, very good.
I
Yeah.
think did she eliminate a couple
They
people?
put her
or-
over
Yeah.
strong.
She was final 6, I think. Or,
No,
She stayed in a while.
was in
I don't
for a
know if
while.
she was
in
final
like
6.
15 minutes or so, but I think Bianca
Because they had to get her out of the picture once the Bianca and Jordan Grace thing were going to happen.
Jade.
What did I say?
Grace.
Yeah, sorry. Once that thing was going to happen, because now they're the strong ones. So they're, you can't have Jordan Grace, who is actually legitimately stronger than both of them, most likely. But they did her and that girl from the Diamond Mine. Not Piper. What's her name?
Ivy Nile.
Ivy.
The little short girl. Yeah.
Ivy
Yeah.
Nival or something.
Yeah.
I had her as my quickest, by the way, because I know who
I'm
she
just
was.
glad, that
I
she
had
wasn't
Chelsea.
like in and out. She
Just because I thought they were going to do the same shit.
Oh yeah, the 5-second thing. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Then it was Valhalla.
leading to that, Jade and Bianca from Mania.
Aren't they kind of the same person? Even Nate Mike Cole said it's like looking in the mirror. Didn't what he said when they were face to face?
Bianca's better.
Well,
I mean,
she's
they're-
also more seasoned.
And she
I wasn't
is a
a fan.
product.
She wasn't. Jade was not on Raw, correct?
No,
And
This
hopefully,
is-
and she wasn't on NXT though either.
the Rumble was her debut.
Right?
Not-
No. I mean,
nothing
this week
since then.
No,
she
yeah,
was
no,
not on
no,
Raw and
no.
she wasn't on NXT. So maybe she'll be on SmackDown. We don't know.
Is that going to be her first official one-on-one match
There's no way.
Starting with Bianca, that's a
at
bit.
Mania?
I mean, if they have high hopes,
She's performed in front of a live crowd, so
yeah.
but
And she's been a champion, so she knows
mean,
how
they
to.
have
was she
high
at
hopes.
Wembley?
No. she was gone by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's been on pay-per-view, so she's been on TV. She knows.
But Mania is different. I was going to compare it to Wembley because at least that's a bigger.
Wait, no, I don't know. When did Stat come back? We were at my house
Yeah.
when Stat came back, so that might have been Revolution. So that might have been, or not Revolution. All Out.
World's End or something.
No. World's End was just this past AW.
Yeah.
No, so it might have been the one after Wembley, which was All Out,
Yeah.
because Wembley was all in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But
I mean, there's
if
2
that's
nights.
her
You're probably
first-
going to have 10 matches each night, so you can throw her in like,
I think so. I think she could do it.
even if you put her in like
You've always been really low on her.
one of those 4-on-4, everyone has to get on the card matches.
The problem is,
No, you got to do just her versus
yeah,
Bianca.
they set that up at the
Yeah.
Rumble. They had those
So
two
you're,
with
you're
the
turning
Mania
Bianca
song.
heel?
No, Jade would be the.
Jade's the heel.
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Because she seemed like a face at the Rumble.
Well,
She
it's her
was a-
debut.
yeah,
Who's
she
not,
was-
you know?
Some people.
I mean, she
didn't
threw
know.
out Naya, and everyone was like, yay. I mean,
Well, you throw out Nia, you're.
I guess it makes you a face.
But so when she was in AEW, I wasn't high on her. Maybe it's the Goldberg treatment that they gave her, but I don't know. Hopefully, she's learning a lot more at the PC.
The Jade that left was better than a Jade that debuted in AEW.
Oh yeah,
What?
Like when she left after 2 years, she was better than her when she debuted. She had gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she was,
okay.
she was
okay.
green. Yeah,
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, she was a little rough around the edges, but she got better.
Can't you say that for everybody? If you can't, then you fucked up. You need to leave
Yeah.
wrestling. If you don't get better in any capacity in 2 years.
I understood the hate in the beginning, but now she's better.
You didn't? You realize, like, Tatanka did this too. Like, we call it the Goldberg treatment, but, like,
Tatanka was
this
undefeated.
this is not new. Tatanka was undefeated. Ludwig Borga was undefeated.
Taker was at Mania,
But was he?
21-0 or whatever.
Bailey finally got her moment.
Yeah. This is the last thing, right?
Winning the belt, right?
Well, main event,
No, she's had the belts.
main event Mania,
Yeah.
which
So-
I imagine her and Io would main event.
Well, main event is whatever you pay for.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they set it up on Raw because she was on Raw that she said she was going to announce she was going after Rhea. Then Nia came out and beat up Rhea and said to Bailey, "You better choose someone else because I'm going after Rhea."
And then Bailey said, "I'll let you know."
On SmackDown, and Io was outside the ring like, "Oh shit!"
It's gonna be the Batista thing.
So they're
Who's the
setting.
NXT champion? They already did that with
I don't know who
Ray
the
and
NXT
Charlotte.
champion
though.
is.
Roxanne's going after her.
Who is a champ? I know Becky had it and then she lost it, but I don't know who.
That's a while
Tiffany
ago.
Stratton.
Is it her?
Barbie? I don't know.
No.
I
But
don't
yeah,
follow it enough.
So Bailey said, "I'll let you know who I choose on SmackDown." So I feel like it's going to be the Batista thing where it's like, yeah,
Maybe it's Jordan Grace.
I'm choosing Rhea, and then,
She should challenge TNA.
Yeah.
but it made sense for Bailey to win. I mean, we saw this thing coming when Io won the title.
Yeah. I didn't think it would last this long, to be honest.
I mean, Io hasn't
I
defended
thought,
it.
yeah,
so-
I thought they would have.
Long term
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah.
And good for Bailey. She's been there a long time. She
Well,
deserves
yeah.
it.
So she needed to win a Rumble and main event Mania. That's the only really thing that she has.
So she's had-
so.
Both the Raw and the SmackDown Women's
Yep.
title. Okay.
Yeah.
Even still, it doesn't really matter.
Tag.
As long as you've been the champion, you know.
Yeah.
She was NXT champion, so.
For the past 3 years, I've been wanting Bailey to win, so it's cool. Finally.
And the place cheered. They went nuts.
Yeah.
Even though she's supposed to be a
My
heel.
daughter cheered. It was fun to watch with her.
Roman was.
Yeah, who cares?
that four-way was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, that was.
That Logan ending was weird.
It wasn't terrible. It was just mediocre.
It was like a house show.
Yeah, it was what it was. There's nothing crazy.
You already forgot about it.
Even like it's like Orton tried to do an RKO out of the phenomenal forearm, but instead he just like kind of caught him while he was still on the ropes and then did an RKO. Like,
Is he afraid to bump?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Like, a back injury is nothing to play with.
it's not. It's not. He might be. It might be in his head.
We said it seemed like he was hurt,
He
too.
might have the yips.
when he was doing the thing.
I mean,
He held his
time
shoulder.
to call Ric Flair. I mean,
That ending to the Logan match was weird. I didn't like the
It's whatever.
Ref only saw the knuckles when Owens had it.
Well, Logan didn't use them. It's not illegal to have them. It's illegal to use them.
Yeah. And then the men's rumble was, I want to say, disappointing.
I don't think it was disappointing.
The women's rumble gave me higher hopes.
I agree. Of course, seeing Jordan Grace, you're already thinking, okay, so who's the TNA guy from the men's? Like, I'm thinking Moose. I'm thinking, are we going to get fucking Dolph? Like, what's going to happen?
Or even like
Alex Shelley. Like, that would
Okada
be
could have
cool.
done a one-off. Like,
Yeah.
You saw Jordan Grace and it's like, oh shit, now anything is possible. And then we get Andrade.
That's not really anything though. That
No,
was just
it's-
a return
yeah.
that we all kind of saw and heard and knew was going to happen.
and he was the only
Yeah.
one, I think. There was really nothing.
Pat McAfee.
McAfee, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was kind of disappointing on that end.
Omos was like a surprise because he hasn't been on TV forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since he wrestled Brock last year at Mania.
Well, I guess Liv was supposed to be the other one because she's been out too. That was her first match.
Liv-
Oh yeah.
Liv was hurt.
What was she? 30?
30, yeah. She was hurt and been out for a while.
I was kind of hoping for Alexa, but
She just
You
had
said
a baby in like
November,
November, so I don't know if she's
Not gonna
ready yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a woman, but I'm guessing that's too soon.
Cody winning is expected. Still kind of disappointing.
Yeah. The ending was Cody Punk was expected.
And being that Punk got hurt now, I guess it kind of makes sense that that whole thing seemed weird.
Fragile ego, fragile body.
Glass mind, glass body.
Yeah.
So apparently he got hurt when Drew gave him the Claymore or the DDT. But he couldn't get over the rope.
Damn, Drew is, man.
I'm sorry.
Drew
but
as a heel,
Drew is.
CM Punk, and I know I'm not in the greatest shape. I'm not a wrestler. I really have no room to talk, but it's not my job to be in shape and be a professional wrestler. If my job was to be in shape and be a professional wrestler, I would show up in shape and ready to not get hurt. The guy, ever since he's been back, it's injury after injury after injury. I'm not knocking him. He's older. He stepped away for a very long time. And now trying to go back to just doing that, nobody's body is just ready. You went from doing this all the time to not doing it, and then to doing it a little bit, then to doing it a little more. You're going to get hurt.
and the foot was his own fault.
Yeah.
That was, but the arms. I'm pretty sure this is the same arm that happened before.
Well, the first one was a pec, wasn't it? Oh, no, Cody's was a pec.
Cody was a pec.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he tore his,
well.
the same tricep.
Yeah, I sent
But-
you guys the TikTok today. Drew McIntyre, time to train triceps.
McIntyre's a heel.
He's working it, man. Good for him.
It's good.
It's
Good
better
shit.
than what he was before.
Any timetable on Punk? How long he's supposed to be out? They say.
I've seen 4 to 6 months. So he had an emotional
Crip
speech.
fight. Crip fight.
Him and Seth. He had an emotional speech on Raw.
Maybe they could do like a thumb war. And they won't get hurt.
He was saying
Or I'd say arm wrestling. We can't do that either.
he was saying he's wanted to main event Mania. Obviously, that's
Who?
Punk. One of the reasons why he left is because he didn't get his
Then
main
try
event spot.
for it, man.
But he was holding back tears because he's saying maybe it'll never happen.
So now the chamber will be like
So now
winner of the chamber versus
Punk,
Seth.
Punk has to finish his story.
Cody didn't choose yet.
Yeah, he did. At the Rumble, he pointed to Roman.
He did
didn't.
though. No, he did. You didn't watch the press conference.
And at the Rumble, he pointed to Roman and said, "You."
But
Coming
not
for
only
you.
that, but he also said in the press conference, I want to thank Roman for sitting in that skybox and making it easy for me to make it obvious who I'm coming after.
Well, on Raw, Seth came out
Yeah.
and he said, "You don't want Roman. Do you want the title that's meant nothing recently, or do you want my title that Dusty had, the workhorse, the workhorse title?" He named
belt
dropped
that-
Dusty.
He said a belt
Big
that's
goal.
defended every week, or the belt that's defended once in a while.
Let's talk about Michael Cole's call during the title match. Did you guys hear it? Did you pick it up? Cole said to everybody that's on the internet saying that Roman Reigns doesn't defend the title as that much, beat him.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
He said, beat him.
They've been saying they called him God a lot too in that match.
He said, all the internet trolls or whatever who keep complaining about Roman never defends his belt,
Beat him.
then beat him.
I'm sorry, but it makes you, I get that you don't like it. I get that some people don't like it. And that's because you were trained to believe that the main event of every pay-per-view should be a title match. But in a roster this deep, does every main event have to be a title match? You could have an entire roster or an entire show of non-title matches with 0 champions, and it would be star-studded still. We do not live in the era that if Coco Beware versus Rick Martel is your main event, you're like, what the fuck is this? You don't need it to be Hulk Hogan. You don't need it to be Warrior. You don't need it to be Savage. We've got 16 Warriors, 22 Hogans, and 5 Savages. Actually, there's only 1 Savage. Sorry, forget that. But you know what I mean? Like, we don't need that. Yeah. That's not a thing anymore.
Hey everybody, this part of the episode is sponsored by Nitro Bar. Now, if you're like me and you like going out with some people, having fun, having some drinks, but you're not a fan of the bar scene, Nitro Bar is the place to be. Nitro Bar is a smaller bar and it's very laid back. Everybody that works there, all the people that go there, I've never had an issue with any fights or problems or overly drunk people. The bartenders there are amazing as well. If you're not sure what to order, let them know what your preferences are and they can whip up something amazing. While you're there, you can play some shuffleboard. Every day that they're open, each month, they have some sort of band or trivia. It's a fun place to be. It really is. They do metal trivia. We even hosted some wrestling trivia nights there. You can also enjoy some amazing food. I personally love the mango habanero chicken with the strawberry cheesecake as dessert. So if you're looking for a fun, easygoing night out with some drinks, take some friends with you and go to Nitro Bar, located in West Reading on Penn Avenue. There's a parking garage there as well for your convenience. You can either go up the steps or take the elevator.
Your specialty of a tag team match is now your norm every Monday night. There doesn't need to be these big events. Even the Attitude Era. Look at the fucking undercards. Who gave a shit about Gangrel versus the Boss Man? Nobody. You're there to see Austin versus The Rock. Austin versus
McMahon,
Taker. McMahon, whatever it is. Now, again, you don't need that. If you got as a main event any given Saturday pay-per-view, LA Knight versus AJ Styles, no title on the line, that's your main event, and they get to go 25 minutes. Are you going to complain and say that wasn't a good enough main event? No, it's good. That's a good match. That's it. You got a story.
And let the three of the Roman,
You just
Orton and
you
those
got
two
that right there.
have a main event.
You got it. If they come back and say, you know what, CM Punk's timeline, he's done with his thing, and now he's coming back. He's not going after title. It's him and Drew, and they main event the next show after that with no title. You gonna be pissed? No, it's gonna be a good match. It's a good story. It's a good match. You got it. You don't need a title.
2 big stars.
Titles aren't needed. They're just a prop.
The main problem I have right now is, I guess, when the Bloodline thing kind of ended, it was just like, eh.
What Bloodline thing ended? The Bloodline's still going. The Bloodline hasn't ended.
Well,
Solo is there, but
to prove your
Solo
point,
and Jimmy. And they still have the Wise Man and Roman.
At the
Wait, you
Rumble-
lost one guy.
but they haven't. When last year the whole thing was the Bloodline, and then it would always be like, this person's going after Roman to stop the Bloodline, to take away all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
you had Orton saying that too.
Seth as the worker champion, I enjoy, because then it's new challengers. It's something new.
When was the last time Gunther defended his IC title?
A couple weeks ago.
Really? Where? Who?
On like a
Raw?
wall. Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Oh, yeah, with The
Oh,
Miz.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The Miz had a rematch.
Good. Yeah, that good. Did they main event? Was it the main event?
I don't remember.
The last match?
What was the main event of Raw this week?
No idea.
I don't watch.
Somebody talking?
Drew versus Sami Zayn.
Oh, was it?
Like you said, no titles.
Why?
Because Drew was beating up. Who was he beating up?
Just Punk?
Punk probably.
Yes, and Sammy came out to save Punk.
Oh.
I didn't realize Punk and Sammy were friends, but so that was your main event. But like you said, no champions, no titles.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, you had Triple H as the heel champion, and then you had Eddie as the, let's just say Eddie was the WWE at the time. Even as a heel, a suit and tie guy, I guess because of the way they ran the pay-per-views too, it would be different. Because they had a Raw pay-per-view, but then a couple weeks later they had SmackDown. So it was like,
I mean, the Rumble.
So you miss La Resistance, huh?
The brand.
You're really longing for those days of La Resistance.
Enzo Suzuki. Renee Dupree.
Yeah. Eugene, man, fuck. You really miss Eugene.
You like Nick Dinsmore.
I loved it, Nick Dinsmore. I hate Eugene.
I mean, at the Rumble, the champions match wasn't the main event.
No.
The Rumble was.
The Rumble, because
Well,
you go to
that's
the Rumble
the
for the Rumble.
Rumble, though.
Yeah. I
That's-
mean, the Elimination Chamber, sometimes
But
that's not for a title,
guess
and that's
what?
the main.
You're not going to end WrestleMania without
Last
a
year,
title.
the main for Elimination Chamber was the title, though.
Yeah, but not all the time. But that's to prove your point. Sometimes that's the main event without a title on the line. Just 6 stars in a cage.
Yeah, but that has a story. That has the... Roman is at a point for me now where it's like, I don't need to see you. Go away.
And he does go away. Then everyone complains.
Yep.
You're not going to see him now till Mania. And
Because
everyone's going
guess
to
what?
bitch.
It's going to be Rock and Roman for the title. And I don't want to root for either of them. I don't want to see that match.
I think the Cody thing is because The Rock couldn't make it to Mania, and they pivoted to Cody. Because The Rock never said Mania. He just said head of the table.
But you can have Roman work both nights.
But what if...
You can't have Roman lose back-to-back nights.
Why not?
That would be his going away party.
What if he just loses to Cody? And then Rock gets to say, you're no longer head of the table. What
That would be a year-long
There's
build
a
for the next
Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
And then there's a SmackDown after Mania, and another Raw, and another SmackDown, another Raw, and another SmackDown, and another Raw, and another SmackDown. The shit doesn't stop.
And then there's that Mania Backlash. Is that the next one?
The shit doesn't stop. So why does Rock and Roman have to happen right away? What have we learned? None of this shit is now booked for 1 month payoffs. We're done with that shit.
Yeah,
That's
Rock
out
and
the
Cena
window.
took a year.
It's true.
I hope it's not Rock and Roll.
Where's the next WrestleMania?
Don't ask me.
That's true.
It's in Texas.
It might be.
It's in Texas, Florida.
Yeah. But I mean, there's that. There, you could do the whole thing again.
Yeah, I hope Rock and Roman doesn't happen this year. And I said before about being a year-long build like him and Cena was, because that gives Rock time to get in ring shape. He looks good.
You
but
mean
he's
get off the gas?
I mean, I think it writes itself. You don't
Of
think
course it does.
They're not going to have Rocky run up the steps, stand next to the Rocky statue in Philly.
What's that got to do with anything?
I mean, that's just WWE's thinking that they would do that. Rocky in Philly.
So, but I don't think you understand that would be that would make him the underdog. You're telling me The Rock is going in as the underdog?
Why wouldn't he be?
What the fuck?
Roman has been
It's
the
The
final
Rock.
He
boss.
hasn't wrestled in
Yeah, but who's the final boss for the final boss? The Rock.
he hasn't wrestled in years.
Yeah.
He's sort of an actor more than a wrestler these days.
But the biggest thing is to bring him back and make the final boss face the final boss.
The actual head of the table.
Yeah, so you're not going to make him the underdog, the fucking Sami
Underdog for the
Zayn.
underground.
If they do like the training montage things, where I mean,
You could do a training montage. I would not have him run the fucking Rocky steps.
But Cody hasn't decided officially yet, so I don't know. I mean, don't forget, when Cody came back, Seth was his first opponent.
and didn't they wrestle like
so there's that-
6 times in a row?
There's that story there too, which could be unfinished.
Cody
You
beat
really
him
wanna
every
see
time,
it?
didn't he?
I don't know about every time, no.
Didn't he? He won the feud overall, right? Didn't he win like 4 of the 6 matches or something?
Yeah. One of them was the Hell in a Cell that he that he wrestled with.
pec.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't tear it. He tore it training. He wrestled it with a torn pec.
Yeah, and he won. I think he won that feud, I think, overall.
Yeah, I gotta believe so. I don't remember.
And I'm with Cody. Yeah.
As you're wearing a Cody shirt.
Yeah.
I do the same thing though. I don't.
This Cody is different than this Cody.
Yeah.
Let's say Cody finishes the story and wins at Mania. Then where do we go?
Roman takes time off.
But I mean, that was Cody's whole thing, is finishing that story. Now where do we go with Cody?
He retires because
Randy.
Then he's sort of like
Randy. Yeah.
Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, yay, he won the belt.
Randy.
Now we don't care
AJ.
anymore.
No.
Jimmy. Solo.
Yeah.
Dom. Finn.
Oh, there's a lot of people, but
Damien. There's so many people.
He's rattling off. What if the title's not finishing the story?
What's the story?
You were just naming like Bloodline, and Orton was his mentor, and his story is getting back his lick from, like Randy was his mentor when he was there originally.
Still not to put out of the way. We have a Money in the Bank still there. Mm-hmm. It's still floating around.
Cody could win and lose it.
It's true.
He finishes the story, yay, and then cash in.
I do agree that Cody has become Sting.
Yeah.
And Kofi was a couple years ago. Everyone was
Brian.
Kofi. And then he won a belt, and then okay.
Brian.
Well,
Benoit.
And then once they win it, everyone's like, okay, now what?
Eddie.
And this, I mean, I like
No, Eddie was a great champ. No, I think Eddie was the right way. And then it was like, well, we can't have both of them be the same person, so we've got to do something different with Benoit. And I just feel like after Benoit won it, he got lost in it, versus when Eddie won it, Eddie was the champion.
I think both of them, though, that took a toll on him. That's why.
What's the most memorable thing Benoit did with the belt? Lose it to Orton.
Yeah, what was
in
what was
orange trunks?
What was this major feud? What was this big feud?
Yeah, the best thing Benoit did with the belt is lose it at SummerSlam. Was it at SummerSlam?
He won it at Mania and lost it at SummerSlam. So he had it for a couple months.
Yeah.
He had a feud with Triple H for a little bit.
Yeah, he stayed in Evolution.
And Shawn
he didn't really.
Yeah.
Benoit had a shit title run.
Whereas Eddie,
But everybody wanted to see him have it. Walking into that match, you got two titans of the Attitude Era, and you had the guy who technically was there in '94 and got told, "Nah, we don't really see anything in you."
When he did the juice, that's when he was
Juice. You say juice like you said Jews. So let's enunciate those C's.
Even Eddie, I don't remember a defense. I remember him winning it.
Eddie had JBL.
Eddie?
He had Kurt Angle.
I mean, yeah, Angle, JBL, Brock.
Angle was Mania.
Big Show. Then he had the
the
burrito.
The burrito, yeah.
I don't think that was the title, though.
I think it was. Yeah, he was the champion. Eddie was a great champion.
I think, did he feud with Chavo too?
Oh, Eddie didn't win it at Mania though.
No,
He retained it at Mania
before.
He won it on the way out.
But they both walked out of Mania with the fucking thing.
The confetti.
If Benoit never did what he did, we'd see that fucking visual over and over. We'd be sick of it. Now I clamor for that. That's a great visual we never get to see.
Well, we see Eddie
No, but
celebrating by himself at the ring.
yeah.
If Seth loses the title, there's more to do with that, I think. Because that title's the second title, whether it is officially or not.
Well, I'm like Jess. I'm an old school guy. It's all about the chase. So the reason we're so invested in Cody is because he didn't win it last year. So this is another shot at it. This is his story.
He said on the press conference that he has to win at this year's Mania because there's no way 2K is going to give him another cover.
But I feel like we're still more invested in Sammy's chase.
But with Sammy, deep down you knew he wasn't going to. You had that glimmer of hope.
But there's still hope that he might eventually.
Who?
Sammy.
Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
Beat Roman or beat Seth?
No, just in general have the.
Okay. I thought you meant the bloodline story. I thought you meant that chase, that story. Because, like, there was, like, a little bit. Like, you pretty much knew that wasn't going to happen. But no matter what you say, I don't care what you say, you watched that thinking, fuck, maybe. I don't know how, but somehow, maybe.
And it was Chamber, wasn't it? So
it was Chamber,
it was
yeah.
like
It was in
Puerto Rico?
No. It was in...
Was it that one?
Canada. I don't remember where.
Oh, no, you can't. Oh, yeah, it wasn't a Chamber. It was at Chamber, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a Chamber match. Yeah, that's what we were just saying. Where the fuck do you go?
I thought it was a Chamber match.
Just said this.
No, the Chamber pay-per-view, but not in the Chamber, They sold that match great, man.
Yeah.
Roman had you believing
But
he
like
might lose.
at WrestleMania, you were like, Cody's got to win, right? And then when he didn't, you're like, ugh. When Sammy didn't win, you're like, man, great match. Still a good match. That was fucking awesome. That ride was amazing.
Sammy got his main event.
When Cody lost, it was like, all right, well, I guess we'll wait another fucking year.
Or you started thinking, who's going to beat this guy?
That's what I've been
Another
thinking.
thing.
Beating everyone on the roster.
That's kind of why going into the four-way, I was like, well, maybe if one of them pins the other, nobody beats Roman. But like, other than that, there's no other way to just get this belt off of him now.
And you mean to tell me out of everybody that Roman faced, Cody is the guy to dethrone him? Really?
Well, with that story, yes. Anybody with the right story can make it believable. You could do Chad Gable. He can tie him up.
He's beaten.
He can hook him.
Multiple men with Roman, though.
He's beaten LA Knight. He's beaten.
Well, careful. This sounds like a Pornhub movie.
If you like you mentioned,
Is this what happens when Roman? Is that the video that gets released? It'll released after Roman loses the belt. He's like, I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
like you said at the Rumble, there's 4 men there. Mm-hmm. So Roman losing is more believable. And there's a way.
Well, he didn't have to lose. Roman not retaining the belt,
So, like,
not losing. He doesn't have to lose the belt.
So like, either any of those men could have won the title there, but 1-on-1.
Can you just say guys? I don't like the way you're saying men. It's just
Why wouldn't the 3 of them, like in the beginning, they all ganged up on Roman? Why wouldn't they do that, eliminate him, and then the 3 of them say, "Hey, if we wrestle each other, one of us can win without him"?
I still don't understand why nobody comes to the ring with a gun in a match you can't lose by disqualification.
Yeah.
Just shoot everybody in the knee. Hey, New Jack would be like a 17-time champion.
So
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Mania's
He
in
doesn't
Philly.
shoot people. He just slices them.
Mania's in Philly this year. It's going to be a wild week.
It's been a wild week of wrestling.
Yeah.
You want to touch on it? We want to
Yeah.
say
This isn't the send off. I'm
Okay, it sounded like you were.
talking
so-
about Mania. So
Fuck Mania. We got way too much stuff to cover before Mania.
oh, your feet always everywhere.
So we had the huge announcement of Netflix. No. Yeah, Netflix was first, right?
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
there is a lot of things. I think, when we talked about Netflix, I think we all kind of generalized that it's going away from Peacock, the WWE network. We don't actually know that. The contract with Peacock is up at a certain point, I think, in 2025. 2026, right? It's through 2026. The Peacock deal.
Netflix starts in 25 for Raw.
Netflix is just Raw.
Yeah.
Not
That's
the
something-
library.
Right. We're just getting Raw. The show Raw.
Instead of on USA, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
So every Monday
But
at 8.
it's still confusing because Netflix hasn't done a live.
They
Yeah,
did. They did.
Did they?
Yes, they did stand-up comedy live. Yeah, so I don't remember who. I've been listening to a lot of stuff about it because I'm very interested. We had our conversation about it. I felt like we didn't know enough about it, so I've been actually very invested. And when I want to know about the business side of things, I go to Eric Bischoff, and he said that this was actually something they tried. I don't remember what year he said it was. I don't know if it was 2022 or what, but they did try a live broadcast. It was a stand-up comedy thing. I don't know whose. He didn't say, or if he did, I didn't catch it. But so they've tried this. So they do have their hand. They have dabbled it.
Did he say if it went okay? Was it successful? Or
He didn't really say no. So obviously the capability of doing live is there. You're not going to tell me that someone else can do it in Netflix, which is apparently the only profitable streaming service. Do you know every other streaming service loses money? Yeah, the only profitable one is Netflix.
Because everybody pays to have their movie on that Netflix and chill thing.
Well, there's another
Hulu and Hang.
There's another thing that don't remember if it was Bischoff or because I also listened to Tony Schiavone knock on.
Richard.
I actually didn't know. Well, Pritchard can't talk about this stuff.
He doesn't talk about anything current.
You can't talk about this stuff. But I know this is just so happens. And obviously when we knew this, when Netflix signed this, they didn't know this at the time. But you just signed on for Raw, has on their board arguably the biggest movie star of this year or this generation, The Rock. This may entice Rock to do some Netflix movies. You know, that's not a bad deal.
Raw more.
$5 billion is a lot of fucking money. So that's for 10 years.
$500 million a year.
$500 million a year.
With an opt out after 5 years.
An opt out, yes.
I don't know if it's Netflix opt out or WWE opt out. Somebody has an opt out.
I don't know. I think it's Netflix.
Sounds like a football contract.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sports.
That's a lot of money. I didn't do the math, but I'd love to like break it down like
With every episode of
per
Raw.
hour. Oh no, per hour. Yeah, episode, hour, even match. Like how much is every match worth? You know?
Well, you could break it down, I guess. 52.
You'd have to find the average like how much average wrestling is on. I'm saying match. How much is every match going to be worth? How much are we going to pay to see Akira Tozawa versus I don't know enough Raw wrestlers right
Truth.
now. No, I'd pay $500 million for that.
Gunther, let's say.
Yeah, let's just say
Gunther can throw him around.
It might mean, I don't know who's controlling and who has says in what, obviously, but it might mean we see a lot more title matches on Netflix, on Raw. When it comes to Netflix, they might say, hey, we want, real content. We want things to be online. We don't want
Pay-per-view quality matches.
We don't want, main event segments. We want main event matches.
Or Roman loses Mania. Netflix starts in 25. Take some time off. Go have a vacation.
His first match.
Come back on Raw. Get you away from Cody if Cody goes
also,
to SmackDown.
I think I said this last week when we talked about the in-between. I said put it on YouTube for free. Mm-hmm. Get those people who aren't watching. Get them hooked. And, waiting for that big payoff. And to get that payoff, you got to come to Netflix.
And YouTube.
I believe the same thing was said, without me hearing it first, by Double J. So glad to know we think alike.
And with YouTube, you can have ads, so they can still make money on YouTube. WWE, they have enough. They have enough viewers and subscribers where they make money anyway. But you can pay for. You can have ads on they get skipped, but you'd still get the money.
When you got $5 billion,
How much more money do you need?
Give
really?
a shit about ads at that point.
Well, you need enough money to pay for The Rock.
So, and the smart thing is, Netflix is going to have their own production. That means WWE doesn't have to pay for production. Right now, WWE pays to put on their show. Now, obviously, they get in return more money, but in this, Netflix is going to be producing it. So now they don't have to worry about that shit.
I learned that from when I watched the Rise and Fall of ECW. Paul Heyman said people don't realize this. It costs money to make a show.
Mm-hmm.
You got to spend money to make money.
And they didn't have it. That's what hurt them.
They couldn't pay to get there, so they couldn't even get there to make the money back.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you're on TV. You should be making money. No, because we didn't have the production values. We couldn't do it.
You get $100 from TV, but then you got to pay $300 to the talent. so you're losing.
Well, the talent that's different. But we're talking about
the cameraman and the,
like if you've got to pay, let's just say $1,000 to run your show on Tuesday for an hour, and you don't make $1,000 back in ad revenue, where you're negative. If you do that enough weeks in a row, you're negative way too much money, and that's what happened to ECW.
yeah.
He couldn't pay to put on the shows to make the money back.
The network was like, here's how much money you have. Go make a wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
But that's paying, the sound guys, the light guys, the cameramen. All those people need to be paid.
Yeah.
So back to Netflix.
What about it?
So Netflix happened, the big deal.
Oh yeah, and then The Rock happened.
The Rock went to the board of directors of TKO, not WWE, TKO.
Then on Thursday,
The bomb dropped.
was it Thursday?
I was right a couple days before the Rumble, so I think so.
I think it was Thursday. Yes, because Friday, the day before the Rumble, was when Slim Jim's backed out. Well, Thursday night, they backed out. And then Friday night, they had it back.
Yeah. That was just one match anyway, right? Just a four-way?
Yeah, the title.
It was the match, yeah. Yeah, I expected the press conference to be, but they were actually sponsored by C4. And nobody had a C4 for Cody to drink. He was going off and he was like, wait a minute, I didn't drink a C4. Where's the C4? And he was like, do you have one? And he was asking like people in the back. Because every press conference, he tries the Doritos or he drinks the Mountain Lightning bullshit or, whatever the fucking gimmick is, he does it.
And C4 has those 2 WWE flavors.
Yeah, that I had. Remember?
That's right. I forgot about that.
C4 was the Rumble match, by the way.
Yeah, the
well,
clock.
they were also, the press conference was C4 too.
The clock was a C4.
Yeah.
The clock. I liked the clock. And I
real
liked
time.
I liked the
How long they've been in the corner?
I liked that.
I like
that was
too.
really nice touch. If that was what you said Hunter was alluding to, it's something that small that makes things you don't have to wait till the end to, the next day for them to tell you who was on the longest. You don't know. You're not sitting there.
Because you're not paying
fucking
attention.
Yeah, of course.
You're like, he's been in there a while.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know.
I don't remember where or when, but
Kevin Dunn's gone. Look what we get.
Triple H.
Sure.
Yeah. Less camera cuts.
Well, there's that
I
one
don't
angle.
know.
They were up like high and
The
he
drone.
It's a
The drone, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's a cool
that's
drone
different.
shot,
There is a badass shot of the 4-way where Roman's holding the title up in a spotlight and the drone is down. That's pretty cool. But Triple H had said he wants to incorporate a few little things to make it feel more realistic as opposed to like a Broadway show.
Instead of a show, he's trying to make it look more like a sport.
Like a sport, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't wait till the next day to find out, player stats.
Yeah.
How many tackles, how many receptions, anything like that.
You read a
got
football
it.
game,
It's
you've
live.
got it.
It's there. It's right there. Yeah.
How many passing yards? How many catches? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, AEW is going to have a super kick counter for the whole show, not just the Young Bucks
And
match.
Tope
apron
Suicide.
spots on the ring.
Oh yeah, and Tope Suicide.
Oh gosh.
How many times Mox has bladed this month?
Everybody jump on everybody's spot.
So yeah, so great news. Shit.
Yeah. So the Vince McMahon. Anybody listening to this, I'm sure you've heard. Vince McMahon's
Wrestling fan, non-wrestling fans, everyone's heard.
Yeah. It came out that Vince McMahon has been, I guess they're calling it sex trafficking. I guess my personal definition of sex trafficking is different, but what it is sex trafficking. She was not a paralegal this time, right? It was something else.
And she wasn't a worker. She wasn't on air.
Yeah.
She was.
But anyway, he
Paid her in gifts, money.
and shit.
What did you say it sounded like? South Park.
I honestly, as this was coming out, it sounded like a South Park episode. It sounded like something Cartman was making up. That he pooped on her head in a 3-way
and took Brock Lesnar.
and had dildos with WWE wrestlers' names named after WWE wrestlers. It's unbelievable.
I mean, we're laughing, but it's not funny.
It's not funny.
No, we're laughing at
Dildo
even
named
the
after
text.
wrestlers is
even
funny.
the texts.
I'm laughing
like
at
the-
his reference.
Even the texts, though, they're fucking laughable because
He texts like a high school.
he texts like he's a child.
I didn't see the text.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's screenshots of it. It's out there. It's all there.
So this is the same allegations from last year when he was
Well, yes. So now what they're saying, so the first time it was the paralegal, but there was also an unnamed party.
Which made him.
They're saying that this is the person that was the unnamed party. We're not going to use her name because we don't want to play around with her name. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Who cares what her name is?
So it's
it
the same
doesn't matter.
allegation.
It's still, it's a person, and this person had these things done to her.
I'm if she signed an NDA.
He was supposed to pay out $3 million and stopped paying.
That's right. I did.
So
see
that therefore,
you not paying me.
that's null and void.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paid the initial $1 million payment, and then he was supposed to keep paying out, and he stopped.
He did for a couple years, and then he got her like roses, and he bought her a car. And
No, that was in the relationship.
yeah,
This NDA was when the first allegation came out,
Yeah, which was last year,
which was
2022.
that was the paralegal. He had this person sign an NDA and was supposed to pay out on that, and that was the $1 million, and then stopped. And then once she stopped receiving payment, that's when she said, "No, you renege, I'm reneging," and she's going to speak up. And good for her for speaking up. It's fucking hilarious when you hear it, and then you start, it starts really trickling down to this is a person, and these things are true. It just sounds so unreal.
and he wanted to pawn her off.
He used her as bait to have someone else sign. The rumor is that it's Brock Lesnar. We do not actually know that.
Rumors Brock got pulled from the Rumble because of this whole thing.
We don't know any of that.
We're supposed to have, he passed her around because John Laurinaitis, I heard, was.
And the Bellas spoke
came
up
out, yeah.
about it. Not really naming names or saying anything.
It's
It was a
unfortunate.
very general statement.
It's unfortunate. We want women to feel safe.
Yeah.
So they're not saying yes or no with Laurinaitis, the Bellas? I don't know.
Laurinaitis hasn't been.
Because I know it's her
He got
stepdad.
fired when the paralegal thing happened.
He hasn't been mentioned about this.
No, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was
Laurinaitis
supposed
was
to-
in it.
He took a shot at this girl, too.
Okay.
Yep. It was Laurinaitis and Vince were the ones that are named. And he also says Johnny in the text. He never says Brock, and Brock's name was not named, but it was a former UFC champion or mixed martial artist. I forget what they said.
UFC
He was
fighter,
trying to get to
everybody.
re-sign his contract.
Yes.
And if you re-sign, I'll let you do this girl.
I mean, obviously, we don't know any of these people personally, but just seeing the type of person that Riddle is, I can't see it being him. If it would have been him, I think he would have spoke up and said, "This is not cool. I'm not doing this shit." He seems like a very upfront person. He seems very cool. The motherfucker paints his toenails and fingernails, and I dare any of you homophobes to say, "Oh, that's fucking gay." Go tell him that. See what happens. Go tell him that's gay.
I mean,
He also makes up getting accosted at the airport, or whatever that was. That turned out to never be true.
I don't know about that.
Because he was drunk or whatever.
Yeah.
That'll make you a bad person.
We don't know.
You have a problem.
We don't know that, though. We
That's
don't know
true.
that it wasn't true.
And then
Yeah.
also somebody outed Pritchard,
For what?
Rhonda.
Ronda Rousey? Yeah. For what?
She said
I didn't see this at all.
verbatim, pretty much said Pritchard isn't innocent. He's Vince's right-hand man.
Oh, definitely. He definitely knew.
When Vince was gone, he was still running things by Pritchard.
Yes,
and-
that's not okay. So she didn't right, but that's not what she means by that.
not saying that he
what
was
she
involved.
means. Yeah, she's not saying. Okay, I thought you meant like he was named and being part of these acts.
No, she's saying
What
that
she's
he's
saying
not- he's
is
not innocent either.
no matter what. No, what she's saying is no matter what, with whether you think Vince McMahon is gone from this company or not, Bruce Pritchard will always be getting input from Vince. His input's always going to be coming through Bruce Pritchard. As long as Bruce is there, Vince McMahon has a hand in what's happening. Because I like Bruce. I like his podcast. I seem to like the person that he seems to be. But he is definitely Vince McMahon's bitch. Vince says jump, and Bruce will ask how high, how far,
For how long?
for how long. Yeah, like he's his lapdog.
And Bruce was also raised the Vince McMahon way.
Yeah,
So
but
he knows what Vince would do in certain situations.
Yeah.
He knows the Vince style. But he wasn't involved with this girl.
It doesn't seem that way. He seems to have a very, very strong relationship with his wife, who had cancer.
Yeah.
And like, instead of like some of these wrestling people who would have just stayed on the road and shit, he said, I'm either stepping away from this business or you're allowing me to be home and work from home for this entire thing. So I hope, I mean, we've always made fun of, I hope we find out that none of this is true. Because of just like, he's now 1B, right? It's like Benoit than Vince. Yeah, he didn't kill anybody, Vince, but like, you know, that's the only thing that's keeping him from 1A.
But like Vince created.
Oh, wait.
this.
Okay, so 1C. Sorry. Benoit, Snuka, Vince.
Vince created this.
Snuka at least only killed one person. Benoit killed 2.
Vince, well, supposedly.
And you can't Google Vince's name. Is that what it was? Or on WWE?
Yeah, well, you can't, not, God damn it, Boomer. It's not Googling if it's inside WWE. You can't search his name.
Yeah.
He's getting
On the
Benoit treatment.
Like Benoit,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also,
Can you search Snuka? I never looked it up.
I don't know. Also, the Rumble things are weird now because Brock is no longer, as of right now.
What?
Brock won in 03.
And he won in 22. What about Vince when he won?
But Brock's not
Vince
persona
won in
non grata.
99.
Yeah, that didn't happen anymore. Like
Not right
Benoit's.
now. Not right now.
Yeah.
Benoit didn't win.
It is. Yeah, I mean, what Vince McMahon, there's, you don't have to go into this, but it's obvious what Vince McMahon means to wrestling.
He created what we know as WWE.
Yeah.
He took this little thing that his dad had, turned it into what it is now.
I mean, I wouldn't call it little. It was a gigantic thing. But he made it
He
even
had new
more.
visions. He had.
Yeah.
If WrestleMania, the first one, doesn't hit, we're not here today.
Wrestling doesn't happen.
He put
Wrestling,
all,
what we
he
see,
put
doesn't
all
happen.
his chips in and said, this has got to go. Or
And now we're going to see what Triple H's vision is because it's fucking great.
As far as the WWE, I think it's in good hands.
Yeah, it's
I don't
great
see
so
this
far.
company falling. I think we did question this back when the first allegations hit with Vince out. It's like, where does WWE go? Just seeing last year, there's no question that it's in better hands. Maybe not at a visionary point. Maybe Triple H won't be able to take it to whatever. Then, although I mean, this Netflix thing.
Yeah, that's big. And with The Rock there now.
Bischoff said that pro wrestling has always seemed to be on the cutting edge of whatever, whether it be pay-per-view or cable or cassettes, VHS, not, HD. They were one of the first sports to be broadcast in HD. Whatever it is, live stream, they had their WWE network. Nobody else had that. Now it's the model. You expect everybody to have their own New Japan World, TNA Plus. You expect AEW when it first came out. We all thought they're going to have their own network, and that's how we're going to watch everything.
ROH does, and it sucks.
Yeah. But like that, they set the standard for everything.
I can understand to a degree erasing Vince, erasing Benoit.
I hate erasing anybody.
I know.
No matter what.
Like, they're still part of, like, that's insulting our intelligence.
Yeah, it's Michael Jackson. You don't not play Thriller. You can't look at Thriller album and go, "Whoa, what was that? That's nothing. That's really, that's a bullshit." No, it's fucking revolutionary.
It's history.
His concerts were revolutionary. Dangerous. What was like the highest? It still might be one of the highest grossing ever now globally. Like, the guy sold out. Have you ever seen videos of like Wembley Stadium or wherever he is in Germany, like Munich or whatever? Those people are packed in there.
people didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
Loved Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so like it's the Michael Jackson thing. You can't just go, none of this music exists.
Yeah.
That's what, and in his case, technically he was never, actually brought to justice.
If it happened on screen, I can see that. It'd be different. But
it's the same thing. Look, O.J. Simpson's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He was, and they kicked him out.
Oh yeah, and now all that talk that we've always ever had of will Vince McMahon ever go in the Hall of Fame? Who will put Vince McMahon in the Hall of Fame? That all goes away.
Yeah.
We're done. That's never happening.
I think
Ever.
Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean,
No, Benoit shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
We always say, as a person, fuck you. As a
Yeah.
wrestler,
same
phenomenal.
like that's the Pete Rose argument.
Yeah.
As a baseball player, Hall of Famer. As a human being, no.
But they brought him back
The
in.
Pete Rose thing, though, what was so wrong with him as a human being?
No, he's banned because he bet on baseball.
Yeah, but he didn't even bet on his own games. I don't
He
understand
did.
this. Oh, he did?
He was the manager of the Reds, and he bet on the Reds as he
Oh,
was
I
the
thought he
manager.
didn't bet on his own games.
And that's what got him.
Oh.
Football players get suspended for betting, whether it's their team or not.
Yeah, I understand.
Suspended, not.
But I
He's
thought-
a lifetime ban. It
Well,
can't be
I
in the
thought
Hall
they
of
brought him
Fame.
back though.
He has to get permission from the commissioner to make appearances.
Yeah.
Like if the Phillies want to honor him, he can come back for a one-off kind of thing. But he can't be in the Hall of Fame. But
It's
as
just-
a baseball player, he's a Hall of Famer. But as a human
So-
being,
On,
I mean, gambling's it's not a crime. He didn't murder anybody.
Like OJ.
if Vince is gone, do we get Owen in the Hall of Fame eventually?
No, because it's still WWE profiting. And
Vince wasn't the holdup of that. Owen's
Yeah.
widow
But Triple
is.
H was good.
Owen's widow.
it's never going to happen.
It's her. It's
I
not-
mean, you say that, but I don't know. But I just don't think she wants the company profiting off of it.
and she blames them. So
And now that the Raw after Rumble officially happened, I mean, we still have some time. Are we convinced that MJF is still with AEW?
I don't know. I honestly, I have nothing that I've seen from AEW is making me watch.
I mean, Cody returned at Mania, so anything's possible. But I said to myself,
We said about this before is that the fun thing would be to bring MJF back during a Cody Punk match
yeah,
because
got a
he
history
has
with
a
both.
history with both, and you tell the story. We're all thinking story. I don't know. Him just coming out. I don't know.
I feel like the devil thing in AEW is weird without MJF.
I don't know. Well, that's like Alexa doing the fucking Fiend thing.
That's why they stopped it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Bray goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that would be very cool. This is the time where they'll start announcing that kind of stuff.
Now that the Rumble is over, we look forward to Mania.
Yep.
They'll start announcing Hall of Fame soon. Now is the transition. Mania, Philly, this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening in Philly, in Jersey, in Delaware, everywhere.
The surrounding area.
I don't know what I saw for Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday there's a few things happening. Thursday there's some stuff. We'll be in Jersey Friday. Also, Hall of Fame SmackDown will be that day as well. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday will be the end of the Philly.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that the Hall of Fame has to be like coincide with SmackDown now because it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
That way they can come out at Mania.
A lot for pro wrestling, indies, big times, whatever. Mania week. That's busy for us fans. It's a busy week. Whether you're for us, it's more important now because it's in Philly. It's an hour area in PA.
Yeah. I feel like we have to represent.
But when last year, if they were in New Orleans, I'm sure fucking what's the big street on New Orleans? I'm sure that was
Beale.
popping. No matter where Mania is, it's always a fun time. There's always a lot of
That's
stuff to do.
Memphis. Yeah, Beale Street's in Memphis.
We always said that we wish they would have fan access back. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what we would go to Mania for.
That was fun when I went. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, which kind of sucks. But coming up February 23rd, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Millersville University. It's a Friday. Showtime is a little later. Doors open at 6:30. So Three Legacies Wrestling, Love Hurts. Love Doug will be there from MLW. I'm not too familiar with him, but hopefully I can get introduced to him. March 30th, Lancaster Convention Center is
Downtown? Something
Downtown Showdown.
Yeah.
And then for me, coming up, there's a couple events. If you're in the areas this weekend, what the fuck am I doing?
Williamsburg, 3.
Williamsport.
Williamsport, 5-star wrestling.
5-star.
And then Sunday is MCW Fan Jam and 25th anniversary show, I think. I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But it's a show.
Fact check him.
Yeah. Either way, Saturday and Sunday, MCW has some stuff going on. Sunday morning at the Fan Jam, you can meet Ricardo, Alberto Del Rio. You can get a pretty cool shot in a luxury car. Dolph Ziggler will be there. Nick Nemeth. Matt Riddle. Ellsworth. Leo Rush. A lot of other people.
Meanie.
Yeah.
That girl is with Tony Storm.
Yeah.
What's everyone?
She's replacing
Sky
somebody,
Blue.
right?
Sky Blue.
Sky Blue, yeah.
Melissa
and then-
May, is that her name?
Mariah?
Mariah May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, I always wanted to go to a show like this, but Wednesday at the Reverb in Reading, it's almost sold out. So if you want to go, grab tickets while you can. Micro wrestling. It always seems like a fun time. Even if you don't like wrestling, go check it out. But yeah, we got the year just started, and it's already a lot of stuff. Being that Mania is coming here, everybody wants to do things and get out, and $20 for a wrestling show is nothing. Go have fun with your family, support your friends, even if you don't like it. It's a fun time, I promise. See you next week.
Later.